mom stress, mom depleted syndrome, tired mom. There are so many words for us to describe an overwhelmed mom. And in this video, I want to really talk about the dangers of being an overwhelmed mom. 2 things that have impacted my life from not recognizing that I was that overwhelmed mom. But before we get started, make sure you click the subscribe button and that bell so that you are notified anytime we release a new video talking about how to handle your child's challenging behavior. Being a mom is so rewarding and we absolutely love our children. But let's face it, it is hard work. From the moment we wake up, somebody needs us. And then we have these thoughts of, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to take my kids here and I have to get new shoes and I have to make a dentist appointment and oh my gosh, look at the laundry and what's for dinner, what's for lunch, what's for breakfast, and then the days repeat themselves. Today I want to share my story of a moment in my life where I went through really hard times. One of my children was really sick. And I was so overwhelmed. I was burnt out. And this led me to later on be diagnosed with cancer, depression, and anxiety. So today I want to share my story with you so that you can recognize some of the hidden dangers behind being an overwhelmed mom. Before I go on with my story though, I just want to say that if you're thinking, well, I shouldn't feel burnt out. Gosh, listen to her story. My child is not sick. I never went through that. Why should I feel burnt out? Don't think that for a second. Life is different for everybody. And it doesn't matter how big or how traumatic or who's going through what. And hers is off, hers is worse, and that's worse. That mother's off, she's got it worse than I do. So I shouldn't feel this way. Never underestimate your feelings, because however you're feeling, if you are feeling burnt out, and it doesn't matter what other people are doing, recognize that you are feeling burnt out, and it doesn't absolutely matter what you are not going through. Recognize that you are burnt out. That is it. So anyways, back to my story. So the medical definition of burnout in general is exhaustion caused by excessive, prolonged stress. That was my life, let's say 13 years ago. One of my sons, Cameron, was diagnosed with epilepsy. He, at the age of 3 years old, we were sitting at breakfast. All of a sudden, he had this eye twitch. And to me, I thought, that was different. Those eye twitches continue to happen multiple times throughout the day. My mom gut said something was wrong and we went down to sick kids and he was hospitalized for 2 weeks. The unknown when your child is sick is scary. The helplessness when your child is sick is gut-wrenching. And you stop caring about yourself because somebody needs you. Life after that was hard. He had intractable epilepsy, which means he wasn't responding to medication. So in and out of hospitals and trying different medication, and then eventually surgery. This was a journey about 7 years, trying to get the seizures to stop. So after he had surgery, the seizures stopped and he started to thrive again. We did have to see specialists and different types of therapies because he had developmental delays and some learning disabilities. So we were still on this long, long journey of trying to help Cameron. And in the midst of all that, I stopped caring about me. I didn't have time to care about me. I didn't have time. This is hard. I had nothing left for me. So, whew, once he was better, I became sick. I was, I'm gonna get through this. I was diagnosed with first precancerous cells in my cervix, and then thyroid cancer. Now, I'm not saying that, all that caused my cancer. What I'm saying is that I stopped caring and didn't recognize some of the signs that I needed to take care of myself. So I didn't eat. I wasn't eating much because when you are so worried about somebody constantly, your child, you just don't feel like eating. There's no appetite, right? So I didn't eat properly. And if I did eat, it probably wasn't good food because I was constantly on the go. By the end of the nights, I was tired, but I was also so hypervigilant. My sleep was hypervigilant. I would wake up in an instant. My child would get out of bed and I would already be awake before they even got out of the room because I could hear it. So sleep wasn't good. There was no way I was exercising, even just going for walks. I just had nothing left for me. And when you stop caring about yourself and stop looking after yourself, you can make yourself really sick. And that's one of the hidden dangers that I wish I knew, or I wish someone had helped me or told me that you need to take care of yourself. And as much as people say, can I help you? You got to do this and you got to do that. It's like, there's so much more to it. You need to make sure you're eating properly. You need to make sure that you're taking time and asking for help, asking someone, can you just help me with this? Taking some time during the day to just have 10 minutes, 20 minutes to yourself, whether it's just relaxing, meditating, going for a walk, because there was so much stress in my life. The amount of cortisol that was in my body was probably so toxic to me. And I really feel that stress made me sick. So mom burnt out is real and it can make you sick. And recognizing when you're starting to feel that you are losing your patience, you are feeling like you want to run away, because there's so many times where I really felt I want to leave. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be a mom anymore. Or emotional detachment, or emotional distancing is kind of what they call it too, where I detached myself from my child. Now, emotional detachment is the number 2 reason of the hidden dangers of an overwhelmed mom. I really want to talk about this because I didn't even realize this was a thing. I had no idea. And my son is 16 now. And lately I've been trying to figure out why I feel different in terms of our relationship. Why I don't feel a connection as much as I used to. And I didn't realize, and when I actually explained it to somebody, this is how I explained it. and I'll explain it to you guys. I explained it in as, when you meet somebody and you're in a relationship for a long period of time, something happens, they break your heart, and you kind of put this wall up because they've hurt you, right? They've caused you some pain, and now you need to protect yourself. And it takes some time. I felt that is what I did with my son. Once he was better, once I was better, I'm cancer-free, and I also had to deal with some depression and anxiety. But what I did was I put a wall up because he hurt me. He caused me pain, and I didn't want to have that pain again. And it's the most difficult thing to say as a mom, that you put a wall up towards your child that you love dearly because they hurt you, because they were sick, and it's not their fault. So when I did some research, I realized that there's a word for it. There's a word: emotional detachment, emotional distancing. And that's what I did because I wanted to protect myself from being hurt again if he got sick again, or because I felt like I couldn't do it again. I couldn't go through that pain. It was years of pain and stress. So emotional detachment is scary. And it's a hard thing to say out loud. For me, it's the hardest thing that I'm telling out loud to the world. But I really want to know that you're not alone if you're feeling that way. You're not a bad mother if you're feeling that way. We have ways of protecting ourselves as human beings. You just have to recognize it. And then once you recognize it, you can heal. So if any of this resonates with you, if you can relate, if you're like, oh my gosh, I thought it was just me. Because the longest time I thought it was just me and that something was wrong with me. There has to be something wrong with me. Who does that? Who says that? Please put a comment. Let me know that I'm not alone. And I want you to know that you're not alone. That wall that I put up, I wanted to talk about a little bit deeper. The emotional detachment from my son. Some of the things that I would do would be pulling away from him in terms of the affection. So, for example, if he came up to me and was rubbing my arm like this, I'd get uncomfortable. I didn't like it. He would ask me for hugs, and I would give him a hug, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same as giving your kid just a hug and squeezing them. It felt very uncomfortable for me. And spending time with him, I didn't spend a lot of time with him. I would spend less time with him. And it's so hard to say because it makes me have that mom guilt of, God, you're a bad mother. But I really pulled away from our relationship. And I didn't know, and I really, really thought something is wrong with me. Why don't I want my kid touching me? Why don't I want his hugs? Why do I want to spend time with him? Because I felt if I got too close to him again, he's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt. And I couldn't bear to go through that pain, that absolute gut-wrenching pain that I had gone through when he was sick and there was nothing I could do about it. So if you're feeling that way, just recognize that. Just take a minute and be like, wow, it's nothing is wrong with you. It's possibly emotional distancing or emotional detachment from your children. And that is just to protect you. As a human being, you're trying to protect yourself because of the trauma you went through. So the 2 hidden dangers of an overwhelmed mom. 1, it can make you sick. It can make you really sick if you don't take care of yourself. 2, emotional detachment or emotional distancing. And that is a tough one. It's a tough one, tough pill to swallow. But those are the 2 hidden dangers that I want you to know about and that I want you to recognize. Here is a list of some of the things that you might be experiencing that you can recognize of an overwhelmed mom, a burnout mom, all the words that they have for us that are just tired, and recognize them. Really get help if you need help. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to say, I am not okay. Nobody's perfect. We are not perfect mothers. So make sure you ask for help. Make sure you take time for yourself. And if you have to, get therapy. I did therapy, and it was the best thing for me. I'm still on the journey of healing from trauma because that was traumatic. The whole thing was traumatic. My health, his health. And I'm still healing from it and learning how to heal. But I need help, and I can't do this by myself, and I can't figure it out by myself. So please ask for help when you need help. Mom burnout is not a part of parenting. And what makes it worse is feeling guilty for feeling that way. And hiding your feelings and not doing anything about it and keeping it inside and not saying it out loud and recognizing it can take a toll on your health. So if this video has touched your heart, please like the video and don't forget to subscribe. But also if you're like, wow, I didn't realize there was someone out there like me, and I hope this reaches someone or one person that is like, wow, I thought it was just me and I thought I was alone. You are not alone in this. Being a mom is hard work. And if you just need to talk to somebody that gets what you're going through, you can reach me at admin@parentingbeyondbehaviors.com. I would love to connect with you. Thanks for listening to my story. And make sure you guys check out our next video, which is going to be about how to not get trapped in that parenting style. So all those parenting styles, how do you not get trapped in trying to find out which one best suits you? Till next time, thanks for listening.